Hey guys, Tyler Wysong here. Thanks for checking out my channel. This is the place where I want to help teach you to sing with more range, power, and freedom. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So first of all, Happy New Year to you all. We're going to start this new year off with a bang, and today we're going to be talking about formants and harmonics. I'm very much so interested in measuring progress. And it's hard to measure things that you can't track. And so once I started to learn about formants and harmonics, I've become very interested in studying them and using them as a way to measure progress and even just measure what we're doing. And it turns out that while using formants and harmonics, there are certain formant and harmonic relationships that happen predictably all throughout your range and for your different registers. And you can use instant visual feedback to see exactly what you're doing. So hang in there with me today. Let's jump in and check this out. Okay, so we are now in Voce Vista, and this is a sung pitch that I sang. And these little squiggly lines right here are the individual harmonics. And I like this program because we have these notch filters that I'm going to apply right now. So we can isolate the harmonics and hear them individually. So let's isolate the fundamental pitch right here. It might be a little hard to hear. Let's do the second harmonic. Here's the third, which is clearly the loudest one, as you can see over here. In the spectrum, kind of crazy, right? So we hear all these sounds, not individual, but when we do hear them individual, we notice it's just like little sine waves stacked on top of each other or something. But here's kind of the singer's formant area for me, which is that ring in the sound. When you play the whole voice back into context, we don't hear individual harmonics, we hear them all stacked on top of each other. But I wanted to introduce you to this concept of these individual harmonics. All right, so we're in VoicePrint, and we're going to be using the power spectrum feature. For today's video, we're not going to pay any attention really to all of these grids over here. We're going to focus mainly on this first grid all the way on the left side of the screen. If I hit record, you see these blue lines. These blue lines are the harmonics of my voice right now. Now, if I bring in the formant peaks, you'll see those now. This white line, those are the formants. So it's really amazing because every register of the voice tends to be very predictable in how the formants are boosting the harmonics. So for example, head voice is when this first formant right here boosts the first harmonic right there. And that first harmonic was an F sharp 4, as you can see. And it is the fundamental pitch. So when that first formant is boosting that fundamental pitch, it is head voice, or some are also now terming whoop timbre, which I'm totally fine with because it sounds like that. It sounds like you're whooping at a ball game or something. Now, when you are in chest voice, the first formant boosts the second harmonic. So the fundamental pitch is actually F sharp 3 right here, but the first formant is boosting the second harmonic at F sharp 4. As you can see here, this second harmonic is the loudest part in this spectrum by quite a significant amount, actually. So that is chest voice, when the first formant boosts the second
harmonic. Now this is where it gets interesting, because there's a few options as you start to go up into mixed voice. And the first thing I want to show you though is what happens when you start to yell and splat. So that is what I teach people not to do. And what happened there was we started in a fine, comfortable chest, but there comes a point where it becomes too much to where you need to let something go, which I'm going to show you in a second. But in this example, I tracked, so to speak, this second harmonic with the first formant. And that, my friends, is what the yelling condition is all about. So as I continue going, you can see it continuing to just track it and stay with it. And as you heard in the example, it was really yelly and blatty, and it did not feel good in my throat. So what is the solution? The solution is to mix. So what is mixing? Well, if I go like this, where the first formant lets go of the second harmonic, but it also doesn't jump onto this first one. It kind of floats in between them, especially in that first bridge. Now, those are three things that happen predictably all the time. Now, the fourth thing is what happens in the upper voice, in the higher mixed range. And this strategy has been used by Pavarotti, by Ethel Merman, and really by anyone who is considered a really great singer tends to make their higher pitches this way. And it is when you allow the second formant to boost the third harmonic. So let me give you an example of that. All right. As you can see, 1, 2, 3. Now, there we go. So this right here is the first, this is the first formant. It's still dancing, floating between the first harmonic and the second harmonic. This right here is the second formant, and that is taking the boost of the third harmonic. And that is a very common thing you will see amongst some of the greatest singers to have ever lived.
As you can see, there are certain acoustic strategies or formant and harmonic relationships that happen predictably all throughout your range. Now, some of you might be having a hard time doing some of these strategies, and that's the point of training. Now, this video isn't necessarily a how-to video, although I have lots more of those coming soon in the future, but just showing you the possibility. And when I started to grasp this concept of formants and harmonics, I had to almost question everything I've ever learned, because it made me realize what was actually happening in my voice. And it really shifts your perception on the voice and the way you even hear the voice and the different frequencies and whatnot that make it up. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about this dense subject of formants and harmonics, I would absolutely recommend this book, Practical Vocal Acoustics by Ken Bozeman. It's one of the books that got me started on this several years ago now. It's a really amazing book, and for the dense topic that formants and harmonics are, Ken does an amazing job at breaking it down and simplifying things. So if you want to check out his book, Practical Vocal Acoustics, I have a link down below. Thank you all again so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit subscribe to my channel, as well as hit the notification bell to be notified when I release more content like this in the future. I have a lot of content coming your way in the year of 2019.